Hi everyone. Feel free to react, send some hearts or thumbnails just to let us know that you're with us in this virtual session. Thank you. Thank you, Manisa. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Sandhya. It's always so pleasure to see you every week here. And then we're planning to invite you in person as well. So moving forward, I would like to welcome our very special speaker today, Professor Ujjwal. He's already here. He's pretty excited to interact with you all. Hi, Ujjwal. Thank you for your valuable time.
Hello, thumbs up.
Thank you. So I would like to start always with we would say the anthem of Hamra Baini. We would like to share with our mission that helps us to remind why we are here every week. So our mission is to empower adolescent girls through community intervention and education on sexual and reproductive health by creating a safe and inclusive space. With our vision, a world where each girl has access to quality SRHR education to create an equitable and just society for them. Moving forward, as we always start with our core value to remind ourselves again and again why we are together on this mission, we have sense of commitment through Hamrabaini. We are always continuously learning. So continuous learning is our second core value with service to community and mutual respect, upholding integrity and modeling empathy. So this is our core value. We always start with our mission, vision, and core value before the beginning of our session. Once again, hi everyone, welcome to this evening. I know it's a hectic day. You're medical students, you have to go through a lot of assignments, duties, and everything, but we're so much grateful that you guys have allocated time for Hamrabani every week, Friday and Saturday, to learn something, to unlearn something, and to get back to the society, for which we're always grateful to you all. Now, today, without any further delay, I would like to welcome our very special speaker. He's not just a speaker for us, he's someone who has been constantly guiding Hamrabani throughout the process. And he's the first person who encouraged me to start this as a social enterprise. So we have officially started our organization as United for Impact, and a huge help was and support was from Professor Ujjwal Anu Chowdhury. So thank you for that. We're doing everything from all the list you have suggested, and we are officially an established social enterprise with our very primary and first project of Hamrabaini with this amazing SRHR champions across the country. So I would like to take an honor to introduce about you and would hand over the session to you. Professor Ujjwal Anu Chowdhury is Secretary from Global Media Education Council, Pro Vice Chancellor from Adamas University, and Dean Symbiosis and Amity Universities. Professor Ujjwal Anu Chowdhury is a renowned communication and media education expert with over 30 years of experience. He currently holds positions at Daffodil International University in Dhaka, Bangladesh, and Adamas University in Kolkata, India. Professor Chowdhury is committed to social engagement and entrepreneurship. He runs a school for marginalized children in the Sundarban area of Bengal, India, in memory of his late mother, and actively participates in civil society initiatives related to media, entrepreneurship, and democracy. He is a frequent speaker and writer on various platforms and has also worked as a media consultant in Nepal, collaborated with Amsterdam Film School in the Netherlands, and worked on films for the World Health Organization in various countries. This is not enough to talk about him through this bio. He's someone who has so much of knowledge and information about Nepal. I would say sometimes even more than me. So he's constantly well-wisher, who is someone who is in love with Nepal, and he has so many memories to share about his attachment with Nepal that is very much precious for us. So moving forward, I would like to give the rest of the time to you, Ujjwal, and I'm always here helping you for breakouts or any technical support if you need. Thank you.
Great, thank you. So there is a truth and there is a lie in what Prakriti has said. That I am in love with Nepal is the truth. that I know more about Nepal than her is the lie. So, so that part, second part, you can take with a pinch of salt, and the first part you can take with a gallop or dollop of sugar. Okay. I do consider that I find a lot of women here, so I'd like to mention at the beginning, women are the core of civilization, and hence when I grew up, I found that our names only carry our father's name. So I had Ujjwal Amrendra Chowdhury because Amrendra is my father's name. Chowdhury happens to be the surname. So I decided to drop Amrendra, add Anu, so that both parents are there. So it's Ujjwal Anu Chowdhury, just like Sanjay Lila Bhansali in the same spirit. So the mother is there and the father is there. The surname is of the father. So I have seen in Nepal some of the powerful women, young at heart, at different levels. I mean, Prakriti is one, we know. And for example, there are many other. I know there's a lady professor called Roshi I talked about to Prakriti, a very strong lady with her own independent voice, writing in Kathmandu Times on even controversial issues. A good organizer in the form of Kajol Jha Thakur, who is a part of local Khabar. Then there are some lady journalists I know in Nepal, very strong writers, and also many organizers in this. So I'd not get into many more names. There are at least 10, 12 other names that I can say who make a big difference to life in Nepal at the grassroots, whether it's a social activation or a professional. For example, there are some CEOs of banks who are ladies. So fabulous. I really appreciate the work that is being done. In spite of several other challenges in the country, one of them being very frequent changes in the politics and political leadership, in spite of that, the youth are doing fabulous work, both in Nepal and Bangladesh that I have been staying. Nepal I have stayed for 3 years and keep going every year once or twice. And Bangladesh, I'm now working for 1 month in Bangladesh and 1 month in India. So even in the field of media, there has been a fabulous growth in Nepal and Bangladesh, especially the digital media has come up in a big way. You'll be astonished that a country which has around 3 crores or 30 million people, that's Nepal, has already more than 6 million, I think it's now close to 8 million, 80 lakhs people on Facebook. That's pretty almost like 1 on every 3 or 3.5 people. And mind you, there's a large number of children, there's now a large number of old people, then many who are not connected through internet in the remote areas. In spite of all that, and in case of the Kathmandu Valley, it would be far, far more, the percentage wise. Out of every 3 people, maybe 2 people are already on the Facebook. The power of not just Facebook, but also WhatsApp and Viber and all that. So the power of media is very strong. So anything good spread also spreads fast. Anything wrong spread also spreads fast. Now, when I say media, what are the various forms of media? So very clearly, online, offline, on air, on ground, on mobile. So 5 forms of media are there. Offline. Offline is everything to do with what you call newspaper, magazines, hoardings, all those are offline. Online. Online, everything to do with social media, internet, online, you understand. Anything to do with the virtual medium, the computer-based medium. So that's internet-based medium is online. Then offline, online, two done. On ground, anything to do with events, concerts, programs, physically, face-to-face, on ground. Then on air, radio, television, cinema, these are all on air. And finally, mother of all media is becoming a small machine called the mobile, on mobile. So you can even watch events on mobile, e-events. You can watch a concert on mobile. You can obviously watch a movie on mobile. I mean, there is Cinema Ghar OTT in Nepal. Very good. They're doing pretty well. So that's on mobile. cinema on mobile, music on mobile, I don't have to say. From the morning, you get music on mobile. You can read your newspapers on mobile, news, general news on mobile, internet. And so finally, mobile is becoming the mother of all media. We also call it convergence media. When multiple media come and converge, ekakikaran, ekatrikaran, integration of all the media on one platform, we call it media convergence. So I will bring to you four areas. Now, I don't know whether time will allow me that or not, but we'll try. One is, what is media literacy? That part. After introduction, basic introduction to media, we'll look into media literacy through a PowerPoint presentation. Then how do you develop critical thinking rather than following the media blindly? Critical thinking. The third is netiquettes, etiquettes on the net. What you should not do, what you can do on the internet. And finally, media and privacy. So these four areas we'll take up. But before we take up, I must tell you that media creates images of ourselves. So we start believing sometimes in what images are being created around us. So, what we believe we are is our personality. What others believe of us is our persona. So, for example, what Manisha thinks of herself will be her personality. But what Kamana or Ayush or Adit or Prakriti will think about Manisha is her persona. So many a time, there is a divergence between the personality and the persona. People might think you are a strong guy, but you are actually you think you are very weak. Or the other way around. You think you are very right, but it may not be always so. So there is a divergence between personality and persona. The attempt should be to bring both together as much as possible. So what you are, you think, should be what people think you are. That is the attempt that one should do. So there are media images created. We fall victim to media images. These media images lead to PR pressures. So what are the various media images? The concept of beauty. So you think, in India, in Nepal, in Bangladesh, we think a fair person is a beautiful person. Well, who says so? There is half of the world or 1/3 of the world for whom black is beautiful. Go to Africa, a fair person is considered a person with less blood in the body. That's why he is so fair. That's how they look at it. And if a person is dark, that means that's natural. They think that's natural. Now you will think you laugh at it. No, it's not about laughter. It's how a perception has been built. So neither black is beautiful nor fair is beautiful. What you are inside is beautiful. Is the fair or the black is just a matter of pigment. Pigment, the skin color, and you are medical students, I don't have to talk to you about pigment and skin color. You understand that very naturally. So it's a matter of heredity, climate, locality, and all that, that some people are born fairer, some yellowish, some brownish, and some blackish. So, but then the images created in media is that fair is beautiful, at least in our part of media, like Nepal and India, which is wrong. Then zero size is good size. By the way, most of the zero size girls or women are often found to be anemic, are often found to be basically very weak. Being lean, being fit is good, but zero size, not eating to lose weight and all that is completely stupid. Overeating is wrong, undereating is equally wrong. Then this whole concept of perfect body, it has to be toned and in this shape and all that, that's another wrong image. There is nothing called perfect body, ideally. And the fact that people are very different in their looks is the beauty of civilization. If everyone in the world was looking the same, it would have been very boring, right? Very boring. The variety is the beauty. Then body shaming. Someone is slightly fat and you start shaming. Someone has a limp in the leg because of some issue in childhood and you start shaming. People start shaming. That's another wrong thing. Then there are wrong values that lead to, for example, oh, you are smart if you have a boyfriend. Now, boyfriend is a natural thing, but it can come at the right time, at the right age. Why don't you begin by making people friends? Why do you have to put the tag boyfriend or girlfriend? First, make people friends. Friendship is much more critical, much more important. And there should be diverse background friends. Friends have no age. You can be friend with someone 5 years younger or 25 years elder to you. So have friends. Now, while you have friends, there could be one or two who become closer to you. They become great friends, best friends. Then you might, for example, be attracted towards someone. And over a period of time, when you know the person very well, when your thinking, values, systems, and everything match, you like the sense of humor, the intelligence of the other person can evolve to be a boyfriend or a girlfriend. And then again, we have mindset. If a boy and a girl are friends and their boyfriend and girlfriend is fine. But if two girls declare their girlfriends, everyone is aghast. If two boys declare their boyfriends, everyone is aghast. Because again, the media has created this image that only a man and a woman can have a relationship, quote unquote relationship, not to women, not to men. Who defined it? That's as natural as a man and a woman having a relationship. So, okay, you do not, I am a heterosexual, that's fine. But if my friend is homosexual, I have nothing wrong, I find nothing wrong in that. Nothing wrong in that. In fact, in my class, there was a boy who was homosexual and in one of the classes in Mumbai. And that person behaved in certain manner, you know how they are. And the others would laugh at him. And I made it a point to make the guy answer to critical questions, creative questions. And he answered sometimes far better than the rest of the class. Then I made them understand. Why do you laugh at him when he is smarter than you? Or I'll have to tell, because he is smarter than you, you find his sexual preference is an easy punching bag. You find that an easy punching bag. Why? You should actually, he's not disturbing any other guy in the classroom. If he finds his partner of the same taste and variety, sexuality or sexual orientation, it's fine. That's up to them. But why do you punch him just because he's different than you? Why difference makes someone a punching bag? Should not be. You know, I find many a time in Delhi, the northeastern boys and girls are called chinky because they have flat nose and they have small eyes. And that's how racial it is, how bad it is. What's the difference between an open eye, big eye, and a small eye? It's just a physical feature. And it has to do with the geography, the topography, the climate, and the racial orientation or parentage. Nothing to do with the child. The child with the small eyes can be seeing far better than the guy with the larger eyes. You are from medical science, you know the size of the eye does not matter in the vision. So media creates these images. Long eyes like this is beautiful. This sort of figure is beautiful. You know, attraction towards the opposite sex is normal. These are false beliefs created by media. So, and then many a time it's created, oh, you are already 18 and you haven't had sex in life, so you are stupid. Who said so? The point of getting engaged in any close physical contact should come only when you understand the consequences of that. And one should engage in physical closeness only with someone one trusts. Otherwise, you are liable to fall into wrong hands. You are liable to be, your pictures and other things are private images are liable to be misused. So, but then media creates this whole image. Smartness is about having a boyfriend. Smarter is the person who has close, intimate relations early in life. Very wrong. So, you know, then there is this pregnancy. If someone is molested, she is marked. She is marked as the wrong person. And if she is molested, it's not her fault. It's the fault of the person, the other person who has done, or the people who have done that. And if there is an early pregnancy, that's another mindset. That means life is gone. Who said so? I can give you the first doctor, Kadambini, in South Asia, when British India was there. Miss Kadambini was the first lady doctor. That first lady doctor was married off when she was 14 years old. And she anyhow convinced the in-laws family and actually worked hard to become a doctor. And she became a doctor at around 23 or 22 when she was already a mother. That didn't stop her from being a very successful and famous and first lady doctor working among male doctors. And she had to have problems during that time as well. So the point is, this whole images, pregnancy means life khatam, shadi means life khatam. These are images created to make people actually lose their self-esteem at an early age. There is absolutely no need to do that. Then consumerism. Oh, you are wearing a white dress, a white shirt, white skirt. By the way, what brand is that? So this is a local brand. Oh, local brand, right? So what if I was wearing a Biba or a H&M or Louis Vuitton accessories, if I'm having, what difference does it make? Does it make truly a difference? It's the same person, right? With or without the brand, so long as the dress is clean, decent, what is wrong if it's not a brand? Why should this fetish for brand determine our cultural thoughts, our cultural moorings? And that is how we land up doing stupid things. I'll give you an example. Everyone goes, I stayed in Switzerland for 1 year. I worked with the World Health Organization, WHO. Not exactly 1 year, I think it was 10 months and a few days, around 10 months. So I stayed in League of Nations Hotel, LON Hotel, they call it. And it's basically serviced apartments, not hotel fully. So there, the opposite to that was the Geneva Lake. This was in Geneva, Switzerland, Geneva. Genève, they call it Genève. Geneva is the English word. So just opposite to the that staying place was the Genève Lake. So on Genève Lake, this famous Geneva Lake, so there is a floating restaurant which opens morning 9 o'clock and goes till 12 o'clock in the night. And newly married couples from all over the world who come to Switzerland for honeymoon, their one of the desire is to have a dinner on that floating hotel. So 2 glasses of wine, simple 2 or 3 items dinner, it costs $2,000. What is $2,000 in India? 1,60,000 rupees, INR. What is $2,000 in Nepal? I think it will be almost 2.5 lakhs rupees. 2.5 lakhs rupees is enough for one family to be fed for 2 or 3 or 4 months. That's just one evening dinner. Why? No, we are actually floating on the Geneva Lake. Let me tell you, I've gone 5 times to what do you call, Pokhara. So there is this Begnas Lake. Now, I'm sure many of you have gone there. Feva is more famous, I know, but I'm talking of Begnas. The look of Begnas Lake is far more beautiful, and I'm not telling to make you happy. Truly, far more beautiful than Geneva Lake. And there is no floating hotel there in Begnas. By the side of Begnas, there are some restaurants. So I've taken a dinner, lunch there with Tuborg beer and a fish fry. I forgot that fish, famous fish. Tea with the name Tea. Anyway, I just now don't remember that. That big fish fry and food, Nepali thali. Maji kuna is something to trout, right? Trout. Maji kuna is also I've had that food as that fish as well, correct? But this I'm talking of trout fish fry and nice Nepali food, probably Thakali food. The whole 3 of us were there. I'm talking of maybe 6-7 years ago. Including beer and everything was 1,500 rupees. 1,500 Nepali rupee. Think of it. And much lesser food. Yes, wine was there. That there is $2,000. We do not know the value of the assets that we have. The assets that we have. Out of the world's top 10 peaks, 8 are in Nepal. World's tallest peak and the deepest gorge, both are in Nepal. 12 ethnic communities with different food habits, different attire, and an innumerable number of festivals are in Nepal. The amount of topographical variety that Nepal has Hardly any other, most of the well-known countries do not have that. In spite of that, Nepal's total economy is 33 or 34 billion dollar, and Switzerland, which earns the highest income in tourism, Switzerland's only tourism income is 52 billion dollar, is almost 1.5 times of Nepal's total economy. Whereas Switzerland does not have a peak even half as high at all as Everest. Does not have. Alps mountains is the only mountain in Switzerland. Alps mountains. And that the height, the top peak of Alps is not even half of Everest. The point is, we do not value ourselves. So every time they jokingly say, no, my neighbor's wife is always more beautiful than my wife. Similarly, the other nations, other communities, other cultures always look very attractive. Because the media has created these images. These images, what you call is gratifying consumerism. You have a branded dress, wow. Your what do you call, your honeymoon was in Maldives and not in Rara Lake or Ilam. Wow. In Ilam, oh, that's very commonplace. Now, this is what consumerism has been, gratifying consumerism has been created by media. Then there we need safe and non-judgmental spaces. For safe and non-judgmental spaces, first requirement, understand what is false and what is true. When you look at a news or anything information, many of them are false. How do you really know that? So developing critical mind. I'll have presentation on critical mind or critical thinking as well as we go. And how do you know what are the stereotypes in case of women? When say women do this, really, can all women do the same thing? Can all men do the same thing? Can all Nepalis do the same thing? Can all Nevaris do the same thing? Then why do we say in the name of communities, they are like that? One individual can be something. Why do we generalize? Like in India, they will very easily generalize, oh, Muslims are like that. Muslims are dirty. You go to United Arab Emirates, see how Muslims are, how sophisticated, classy, and clean the Muslims are. In case of India, most of them are poor. Because they are poor, so they are simple, humble, and not so clean, perhaps. And that too is true for many Hindus as well. But then we have this image created through media. Muslims are dirty. Muslims have multiple wives. I ask many people who tell this, that Muslims have 3 or 4 wives. Have you seen one single Muslim who has got more than one wife? No. Then how do you know? I read it in media. Come on. If you haven't seen in the world, how do you know, in your world, how do you accept something just because media has told it? Oh, Muslims have many children. How many children has Lalu Prasad Yadav? 12. He is a Muslim? No. The point is not about community. The point is about certain families, practices, historically things happening. So our grandfathers, my grandfather, were some 12 or 13 children of the same parents. My father was 7 children of the same parents. We are only 3 children. Our brother, sister are only 3. Our next generation will be 1 or 2. So the point is, why do we, this is the question, this is evolution of society. But then we mark a community because media has told it. So how, and then there are, male chauvinistic jokes, which are against wives or girlfriends or women in general. Male chauvinistic jokes. So that also has to be, so these all can be stopped. 1, if you are media literate, if you understand how to read media correctly. 2, if you are a critical thinker, if you think not like if you're not a dumb who accepts everything told by media, you critically think. 3, if you know the right etiquettes on internet, on social media, or if you can point out the mistakes, wrong etiquettes of the others. And 4, if you value your privacy and others' privacy in media, in public media, public space. So you need to have media literacy, critical thinking, net etiquettes, and media and your privacy. That's one side. The other, if you believe in sisterhood, that's why I like the name Hamro Bahini very much. Sisterhood. It's the women who must support. Unfortunately, I find in many families, it's the mother-in-law which troubles the daughter-in-law, and vice versa. And vice versa, often. So the point is, if women save the back of one another, if they believe in some sort of sisterhood, then the world will be a much better place. But then, unfortunately, many women compete and desperately compete for the attention of the same man. Why? Why? Are they competing so much for attention of the same woman? So why do you fall victim to this whole image that you need to look very sexy? Then only your man will be attracted. If so, then the man's attraction is short term. Is short term. If you really believe the man, then whether you are dressed up to the hilt or not, the approach of the person you want or you love would be the same. So if you have to, I mean, there's nothing wrong to be presentable. I really appreciate women when they are presentable. And I really appreciate the Kathmandu girls particularly because they take care of the hair and they look so nicely in spite of such pollution in the air. In spite of mishmash, what you call as mishmash, kerosene and petrol together, so much of gas on the road, still you take care of yourself so much. And that's really appreciable, really appreciable. Having said that, do it because you love to be beautiful. Don't do it because men are attracted. Don't do it for that. You do it because it's fun, it's nice. So if I had a disheveled hair and if I were not wearing any proper dress and sitting to talk to you, it's bad. So I should be well dressed and well groomed if I sit in front of a bunch of young men and women from a distant land of Nepal. Similarly, you be well dressed, well groomed because you want to go into the public, not because you want to be seen as sexy, seen as attractive. What's the big deal of being attractive? Let me ask it. What's the big deal? I mean, it's much more important to be considered seriously. Considered, I mean, serious means no smile, no laughter, not that. So it's important to be taken seriously. A man takes another man quite seriously at work. Why not a woman? Often. Now, there are exceptions, but often. Why not a woman? So you have to, the women have to say no to this whole culture of peer pressure and media pressure of looking sexy, looking beautiful only for the men's gaze. This gaze, male gaze, you have to really, don't be a victim of it. You rather opposite. A friend will not have a gaze, will have a look. There's a difference between look and a gaze. And I don't have to tell a young lady the difference between a look and a gaze. A male look and a male gaze. A friendly touch and a wrong touch. You know all that. You know all that. But then media and peer pressure makes you believe on many things. So I strongly suggest that there should be a strong bond or sisterhood among the women themselves and with men as well, with men in your circle. So please believe in good friendship, great friendship, because in the long term, this friendship will hold you in good state. Many a time, the boyfriend and the girlfriends can go apart, but the friends will be there. It is irrespective of whether the friend is a male or a female, the friendship will be there. So believe and develop friendships. I will give a question, but I will continue with my presentation now. I'll take the first presentation. The question is 5 negative impacts of media for women and how to combat them. So as we discuss, you keep on thinking. Later on, I'll ask, let's say, Anamika Tiwari, tell one of the negative impacts of media with respect to women and how should women combat or fight that out. Or Manisha, speak about it. Kamana, speak about it. I'll tell that as we go ahead. So I'm giving the question for your thinkings on the side. 5 negative, at least think of 1 or 2 negative impacts of media for women and how to combat or how to fight that out. Let me go to the first presentation. As I said, the first thing is media literacy. So you need to really understand what is media literacy. And let me go and to the share screen. Yes, I hope you can see the screen, right? So very quickly, now these are independent presentations, so I cannot actually give a lot of time to each of the presentations. So we'll quickly discuss. So what is media? What is literacy? What is media literacy? Why is media literacy relevant to us? And how do we become media literate? So these are the 5 questions we'll briefly answer. I will share these presentations with our boss, Madam Prakriti Dhaka. She can share with you all later on. But let me just bring the questions. So we are surrounded by media. Media is both transmission method and content. Transmission method, like the platform for transmission, like television is a platform. So it's a medium. Internet is a platform. Newspaper, radio, cinema, outdoor, all these are platforms. So they're transmission method or platforms. And the content can be for information, that's news. The content can be for entertainment, that's cinema or music or television. The content can be for behavior change, that's development communication of the INGOs and NGOs. The content can be for persuasion, and that persuasion thing could be, for example, advertisement or public relations. There can be persuasion. So media can be both transmission method or content. TV, apps, website, video games, newspaper, magazine, billboard, radio, social media, advertising, all these are media. So how do we define media? Different ways of communicating and disseminating information, news, entertainment, and advertisements. So these are the various platforms, images that you see, and you can name the images yourself. Those are used for disseminating information, news, entertainment, or persuasion or advertisements. But do we understand how media affects us and our society? How has the media and its technology changed over years? See, this was a large telephone system. Then this telephone came, hand phone, mobile, smaller mobile. And tomorrow there will be chip, a small chip that you put in the ear. You are just moving around. There are no hands free. Now this also can come. So even on the other side, for example, first written word was on stones. Then movable type means creating of on a paper something typed. Then mass publication, books. Then email through the internet and through the computer. Then Twitter, only 140 characters. Now it is 256 characters. What more? I mean, people don't know what more to say. So much briefly it can be done. So communication has been evolving in this manner. How and where do we consume media? Everywhere. We are both consumers and producers of media. So this father of the padri, the priest of the church is saying, I now pronounce you husband and wife. You may update your Facebook status. The first thing they do is the Facebook status. So even before they have hugged each other, they have already given the Facebook status. So the joke is that we are so much desperate to produce content and let people know. And we are also consuming content. So there is a new word called prosumer, producing consumer. That means you are reading books, you are seeing television, you are watching television, you are watching cinema. So you are consuming media. You are writing on the social media, you are writing online. That is your content production. So you are both a content producer and a content consumer. So prosumer is the new word. Who is a literate in India? Person aged, now the same thing can be in Nepal as well. A person aged 7 and above who can both read and write with understanding in any language is treated as literate. Person who can only read but cannot write is not technically considered as literate in India. I am not aware of the Nepal practice, but at least read and write any language is important to be considered literate. So what is literacy? Literacy is the ability to identify, understand, interpret, create, communicate, if possible, compute. Now, compute will be computer literacy. Minus that is general literacy, using printed and written material associated with varying contexts. UNESCO has defined in this way about literacy. So are media and literacy connected? Yes. How has literacy changed with the changing media? Rhetoric, speaking and listening is rhetoric. Print literacy, reading and writing. Visual literacy, design, interpretation. Information literacy, information access, evaluation, usage, retrieval, Googling. All Googling and all that is information literacy. Media literacy, analyzing messages from media. You see an advertisement, you analyze it. You see a film and you interpret or discuss it. And popular culture, composing with technology tools, so media literacy. Critical literacy, when you understand that apparently what is given in media, what is the thought behind it? Critical literacy. So sometimes you think, they say in a film, for example, a fair and upper caste person is shown as the landlord. A dark and lower caste or so-called Dalit is shown as the servant. There is a inbuilt way of glorifying fairness and upper caste in this media. Apparently, it is normal, but actually, it is glorifying fairness and caste system. So critical literacy makes you see that. Critical thinking. Computer literacy, understanding computer technology is understood. News literacy, when you can understand and evaluate the news, is right or wrong, good or bad, when you can do that. Digital literacy, when you actually produce content for the digital medium. So these are the various forms of literacy. I hope you can very easily understand. I'm not spending much more time on each of these. Print literacy, visual literacy, information literacy, media literacy, critical literacy, computer literacy, news literacy, digital literacy. So these presentations you are going to get. But while we are speaking, there's something critical point you can note down also, because I will be asking you about how and what did you learn in the last phase. Okay, we go ahead. Media literacy, when you can access media, that means you can read newspaper, you can watch television or whatever, access. Then analyze media, not just watch or read, you can even debate and discuss. Then evaluate media, right or wrong you can find. Then you can create media. I mean, digital media, digital content, whatever you can create. And then act. That means using the same media, you can you can apply that in your life. When you can do this 5, you are media literate. So literacy and media literacy, there is a journey. Literacy when you can read, but when you can read, analyze, evaluate, create, and act, then you are media literate. That is the journey from literacy to media literacy. Access to skills, listening, reading, writing, critical comprehension technology. When you do these skills, that means you are media literate. Technology, digital, electronic, print, information from multiple sources. You can collect, you can search information. That means you are media literate. So Google, use of Google and all that. Now Chat GPT, as you know, you can create articles through Chat GPT. So that's also a part of media literacy. When you can analyze and evaluate, asking questions about symbols and their meanings. Why this symbol is there? Why in the boss's chair, only a good-looking, fair person is there? And in the peon's role, only a lower caste, dark, not so good-looking person is there. That is a question that you should ask. Messages, there are types. Who is bringing the message? What purpose? Evidence in media message. Are people only claiming or giving evidence? Consequences. When you can analyze all this, consequence means outcome, result, or impact of this media. When you can analyze this, then only you are media literate. And create an act when you can see the rural lady is interviewing another rural lady. The first lady is aware of the technology, sound technology, radio, she is recording, and then maybe using in a local or rural radio. I must appreciate Nepal has more than 300 radio stations. What a fabulous thing. Interior villages also have radio. In case of India, it's not even 100 radio stations till now. And except the government All India Radio, no other radio reaches the private, the rural and the semi-rural areas. The private radio stations are only in the cities. So Nepal has actually used radio for development in a big way. Sagarmatha radio is very good, for example. Nepal FM is very good. I found in Dharang or somewhere a children's radio called Chunnu Munnu FM. Chunnu Munnu FM. Can you believe that? And children all below 12 years are interviewed. So when Baburam, Dr. Baburam Bhattarai was the Prime Minister, the 3 children interviewed him. You know, 1 boy and 2 girls, all below 14 years. So what a beautiful concept, Chunnu Munnu FM. Now, create an act to compose evidence-based content in different forms using new digital tools and technologies, reflect on one's own conduct and communication behavior, share knowledge and solve problems in family, workplace, community. All these, if you can do, or at least beginning to do, that means you are truly media literate. Truly. For example, United for Impact or Hamro Bahini should have their own YouTube channel or should have their own YouTube radio. You can actually have online radio or YouTube channel. Then while you learn things from around, you read, you listen to, you watch, you can also create and share. That is very significant. Then only is media literacy. Critical thinking is the key word. Take in information and analyze from different perspectives. Compare it with other similar information, evaluate and reach a conclusion. For example, a WhatsApp forward. Many a time WhatsApp forwards come, which we just accept as they are, which is wrong. During Corona times, you are all in health communication. During Corona times, there were many WhatsApp forwards on immunity boosting and how to control Corona. 90% of them are false. Most of them are false. So this is, during the Corona times again, there was one WhatsApp forward that UNESCO, UNESCO, United Nations Educational, Scientific, Cultural Organization. UNESCO has declared Jan Gan Man, the national anthem of India, as the best national anthem of the world. When this was, someone started it, and millions of people started sharing it. So totally false. No, UNESCO never goes into the, national anthems of that is not their work. And they also said UNESCO has declared Narendra Modi as the best prime minister of the world. Another bullshit. Completely false. But this was shared by thousands of bhakts of Narendra Modi. So the point is, with these WhatsApp forwards, now suppose you have got this WhatsApp forward. How will you check it? Just go to the UNESCO website. Ask, there is a search, right? Jan Gan Man as best national anthem of the world. There will not be any link. So that proves that UNESCO has never told that. So verification is important. Now, who will do the verification? A truly media literate person will do that. Otherwise, the most 90% people will do what? They will just feel, again, further forward it to others, as if they are giving prasad, gyan to everyone else. So why is media literacy relevant to us? Our times are marked by an overload, abundance of information. This is also called information overload. So we need to widen our literacy skills to keep up with these changes, to separate facts from fiction and opinion. So media literacy would make us better decision maker, listener, reader, and also content creator. It will make us critical students and citizens, strengthening the democracy. How do you analyze? Who created? Any message you get, think who created this message. So Jan Gan Man or Narendra Modi as the best PM, obviously BJP people have created and started sharing it. And you can cross-verify it going to the UNESCO website. What methods were used to attract my attention? It was sent on website, on WhatsApp, sorry. How would other people interpret the message? 90% people will start dancing to it as if it is gospel truth, while it is not. What points of view are included, which are excluded? The actual, this claiming UNESCO is not giving the source of the UNESCO. If the website source is given, that link is given, that you click here and see that Narendra Modi has been made the best prime minister or voted the best prime minister, then fine. It does not do that. It does not do that. Why was this message sent? Political reason, simple. So when you see this picture, what comes to your mind? So this picture is there. It is a part of a what do you call an ad, as you can say, a hoarding, part of a hoarding. What thing comes to your mind? Now, let me ask this question to someone. Yeah, let me see. Adit Acharya. You just say, you unmute yourself and tell what comes to your mind looking at the picture. Adit Acharya, if you are there. If not, Deepika Lamichhane. Deepika Lamichhane. What comes to your mind?
The contrast between what media
Out loud.
portrays, the contrast between what media portrays and what is the reality.
Right. So what is the contrast?
So there they upset to drink Coca-Cola while people are drinking water.
The people are not even getting water. There's a line of pots. That means, and nobody is there. That means there is no water. They have only put the pots for mera number 1, mera number 2, mera number 3, like that. And when the water will come sometime, then they will. So there is no water even for drinking. People are hankering for that, and the media is advertising drink Coca-Cola. So there was this movement in France. Hunger was there, extreme hunger. I forgot that name of the queen. The farmers were having a movement for food. And then she asked the minister, what happened? Why there is so much of disturbance? Well, people are asking for bread. There is no bread. They are hungry. They are asking for bread. Oh, tell them to have cake if bread is not available. I mean, for her, she cannot even think that if bread is not available, cake is far away. Cake will not be available anyway. So it's like that. The media is asking people to drink Coca-Cola, whereas the simple, plain drinking water is not available. So this content. Now, in normal case, if you're not media literate, you will think, or very simple done person will think, wow, beautiful Coca-Cola ad. Actually, the ad does not make any sense to the people for whom it's given. So all media created by people decide what to include and what not. Hence, important to know who created the content and what choices they made. What methods were used to attract my attention? Why is one ad more interesting than the other? Now, this actually can be even created by an NGO which is fighting for water. They may say that the economy and the private sector is talking about Coca-Cola, whereas the people do not have drinking water. It can be interpreted this way also. Why were you shown this message? What catches your attention? The contrast catches your attention. Contrasts are always beautiful. So different viewpoints. Different people view messages differently. Age, gender, social status, beliefs can change interpretation. It can create empathy, helps understand our own bias. So we must recognize and accept different viewpoints. And we must also look at a message to see what is included, what is excluded. So what points of view are included and what is excluded in a message? Is this the only one side of the argument, or the other side is also included? So these are the things that we should have while we look at a particular message. So I will stop this presentation here, and before I go further, I will ask one of you. Now let me ask Kamana. Kamana Kesi, you can unmute yourself. Feel like you can come on video as well. And if you are on the hill, the picture shows that hill, then it's even more beautiful. You can come. I don't know. You cannot be on the hill, I'm sure, at this home naturally, because it's evening time. So Kamana, in 1 minute, tell what have you learned about media literacy, and an understanding of media images, how you need to interpret media, whatever you have learned so far. In 1 minute, please speak.
So today I've learned about first media. Media is something which portrays different source of information to us, and about the media literacy, it is all about learning and interpreting.
So to be literate, only reading, watching media is not enough. Interpreting, understanding who made it, why made it, what is the purpose, that critical analysis is required. Is it okay?
Yeah.
The media literacy is when you can critically look at a media, right?
Yeah. And everything that is shown in media is not true. So
right, very good. Everything that's shown is not true.
Views,
yes.
And the views and how people see it varies people to people.
Right. Good. In some cinemas, if a person is affected by leprosy, he will be shown with the hands like this, right? Like this. And he is limping. and he'll be called Kodhi, Maharogi, or in English, leper, LEP or leper. But someone who was affected by leprosy can be completely cured. The finger might have got twisted, but he is not a patient. But permanently, we make him a patient due to the media's bias. For example, you or me surely had cold and cough in our life or fever in our life. So is it said, Kamana, the former fever patient, is it said like that? Or Ujjwal, the former cold and cough patient? Never. Abhi kabhi hua hai, theek ho gaya. It happened, it is over. But in case of leprosy, we mark the person permanently as leper. What a media bias. And we don't even question. So if in the news you say this leper or Kodhi or Maharogi, you have to oppose it. Because science has proven leprosy is not infectious and completely curable. Someone may have the finger twisted because of the past leprosy, but he is not infectious and nothing wrong. But this discrimination has gone into our mind. So when we know someone is AIDS positive, suppose, I hope nobody in your surroundings ever is AIDS positive, but suppose someone, we immediately run away. Nothing will happen here. Nothing will happen. Just because of shaking hands or sitting next to person. I mean, if you are in sexual relationship with that person, there may be a challenge. Or if his blood or swab comes into your body, then there may be a challenge. But otherwise, if you sit together, chat together, nothing will happen. But then the fear is there, media has created it. That's why health communication is required. Strong health communication is required. Right? Ayush, are you there, Ayush? Very beautiful name.
Yes, sir, I'm here.
Very good. So let me see your handsome face also and tell what have you right there. Chashmish, mere jaisa chashmish. 4 eyes. So tell what now, till now, in the last half an hour, 40 minutes, what have you learned?
I have learned about media literacy
Good.
and how we should deal with the how media portrays us and what the reality situation is, how to analyze it.
So what is the difference between media aware and media literate? So suppose you are a media consumer, obviously everyone is. So media consumer and media literate, what is the difference?
I think that media literate person should be able to differentiate between what they tell and what is the real situation. He or she should be able to analyze the situation.
Right.
The content.
Interpret it, analyze it.
Yes, sir.
Very nice. And differentiate between false and truth. Go into the source. Why is it told? Who is telling it? Whose interest is getting fulfilled? All this analysis, that power is the media literacy, right?
Right, sir.
Wow, man. I did not know this at your age. I learned it only a few years ago. So you are ahead of me. Nice knowing it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, next question before I go to the next topic. So I have already discussed media literacy. I have told that you need to be a critical thinker. So the critical thinking would be the next topic that we'll take up. But before that, I asked 5 negative impacts of media for women and how to combat. So this was a topic that I had given earlier. And now this beautiful lady called Khushbu Rai will answer this. Right? Khushbu madam? You answer this. Yes. So 1 negative impact of media and how to combat.
Hello, namaste, sir.
Namaste.
So the negative impacts that is happening in women, especially while we are consuming the media sources, then first thing is we will be following some role models and we will like to copy their lifestyle, and it eventually lead us to compare our bodies and different aspects with them, and that is creating negative impact on ourselves, and there will be body shaming. And not only that, through the internet sources, there are many people who are facing the online harassment, and women are especially vulnerable group for that. And when they are going through such conditions, they will be having mental issues and breakdowns and may feel depression too. And so that are some of the negative impacts of media, I felt. That is
Very good.
especially.
Very good. Well said. I am explaining netiquettes and media and privacy. Going ahead, there, this online harassment thing I will take up. Wait for that. Since my content is quite long, so you may have to little wait for that to get more details on it. Okay. So, young ladies and gentlemen, there are still 21 people. Be till the end. Some more content will come. Now I'll go into critical thinking. What is critical thinking? How do you develop critical thinking? So allow me to share the screen for a moment. Let me try. Okay, this is done. Let me, oh, shared window is closed. Okay, let me go again. Shared window. Okay, now let me go there. Up. Screen. Okay. Now let me come to media literacy ke baad. Critical thinking. Yes. Okay. Are you seeing the screen? Anyone?
Yeah, it's visible in the screen.
Yeah, visible. And hello, good evening. Majikuna fish. Now what else? No. Okay. That's okay. This much. Okay. You can write anything in the chat box if you want me to communicate to me. I may see a few minutes later, but you can. So don't believe in everything you read on the internet just because there is a picture with a quote next to it told by George Washington. Who was George Washington? Anyone? Who was George Washington? Anyone? Some of you are Googling it, right? Anyone can unmute yourself and tell who was George Washington? He was the first president of USA. When? 275 years ago. Was internet born there? Not at all. Internet is born only 25-30 years ago. So this, don't believe in everything that you read on the internet just because there is a picture and a quote with a quote next to it, is obviously not by George Washington. But that's how you get it. Now, if you know who was George Washington, you would have understood this is a false quote. But because you don't know George Washington, you may think that he is a thinker, a current thinker or writer or something. That's how falsehood spreads. Falsehood spreads in that manner. Okay, we go ahead. Is it not going? Yes. The internet is an excellent source of information. All of it are true, especially those in the Facebook. They're completely false. Sharpening critical thinking. What is critical thinking? The ability to think clearly and rationally. Rationally with reason, not blindness. So all Muslims are, all Muslims marry 5 women, have 15 children. If this sort of things are spread, some Hindus will believe it, but this is irrational. Yes, some Hindus really believe it, but this is irrational. So ability to reason is critical thinking. It is a way of thinking that is acquired. You may not be born with it, you may have to acquire. So the government won 2 TV channels in the last 3 years for superstition. Many times these superstitions are there. Ganesh ne doodh pee liya. Ganesh ka statue doodh pee liya. Sometime earlier in India, Ganesha drinking milk was shown. Completely false. Completely false. So skepticism. When you have skepticism, is a questioning attitude. Whenever you hear anything, start questioning it. Don't accept it. That is the beginning of critical thinking. Doubt towards instances of knowledge. Being skeptical means not accepting information on face value. That does not mean that you oppose a truth, but then find whether it is true or not. That is important. Source. Source is an important element in the communication process. Find who is the source of any information. So many a time the source will tell whether it is biased or not. Message, channel, receiver, feedback. Message is what is communicated. Source is the person who has started it. Message is what he or she is communicating. Encoding it means either visually communicating or linguistically communicating or musically communicating. That is encoding. Then the channel. Channel may be a television channel, a radio, or a newspaper, or internet, or social media. That's the channel. And receiver gets it. So receiver understands according to his or her intelligence. That is decoding. So this, again, the receiver gives a feedback that goes to the source. So this whole SMCR model of communication, you have to go to the source to understand whether the message was right or wrong, properly. Skill set required to develop critical thinking, identification of the problem, factors influence the decision, and clear picture. Now, for example, you get a message about a riot or a violence, and it claims that it is happening in your country. Look at the dress. Is that a dress? Or let's say it is claimed that it is happening in Birganj. Look at the dress of the people. Is that the dress of Birganj? That will say right or wrong message. Look at the names of the shops. Is it written in Nepali? Is the place name is written somewhere? If there is a video, what is the language they are speaking? Look at the car numbers. Is that car number a valid car number? Because you can easily check on Google what is the usual car numbers of Birganj. What will be at the beginning? What number can change? 3702 and all that can change. But what will be at the beginning? Because there is a country code, there is a district code, and there is a locality code. So you can actually check the car number and understand whether that is a Birganj car or not, or a Nepal car or not. So there are simple ways of checking and identifying the problem in a news, whether it's a fake news or not. I don't want to use the word fake news, because if it is fake, it is not news. If it is news, it is not fake. News means north, east, west, south, whatever happens. NEWS, news, is whatever is happening immediately and relevant to the audience and of relevance to the audience. That's news. Fake means that has not happened. So how can it be news? So the word fake news is a colloquial word, no doubt, but not technically right. It can be said fake content, fake information, but not fake news. Anyway, we go skill set for developing critical thinking. There was a news, see, and this is in India TV. ये गाय आपकी भी हो सकती है क्या? एलियन गाय का दूध पीते हैं? Nonsense, complete nonsense, complete superstition. So how do you ask yourself who is doing what? What seems the reason for this happening? What are the end results? So basically, it's a superstition. Why is it big doing? They are doing for TRP, television rating point. They are doing it to become popular news through falsehood. So you can understand if you are a critical thinker. Breaking news, see, and this is breaking news in Bollywood Wikipedia. Breaking news, Amitabh Bachchan died due to coronavirus. Amitabh Bachchan fake news. This was on July 12, 2020. He is still alive. But this was the actual news spread. Amitabh Bachchan died. So again, to be popular, to make everyone search it. So this is actually very wrong. So when you have understood this, blacklist this Bollywood Wikipedia and never read, never forward, never suggest. In fact, complain it if there is an authority to complain fake story. So skills set for developing critical thinking, identification. Who is doing what? That is the source. What seems to be the reason? What are the end results? How could they change? So these, during elections, a lot of fake stories will be there during elections. So these are aspects to develop critical thinking. Skill set for developing critical thinking. Research. News full of fake stories, but how do you know that it is true or not? So research, arguments are meant to be persuasive. Focus on the context, independent research together. All these will give you the reality. Develop an eye for unsourced claims. So anyone is claiming something like UNESCO says Prime Minister Modi is the best Prime Minister. Now give the source, UNESCO portal or website. Then only is understood. Unsourced claim, facts and figures behind the claim. Something abnormal facts. Then check it. Difference between various content online. Now satire or hoax are jokes. So that's not serious content. Like, for example, there was this Sushant Sushant, what do you call his Sushant Singh Rajput, SSR, the film director, a film actor who committed suicide. His girlfriend Riya Chakravarti, who was not even found with any drug, still she was so disturbed by the media. For medias are like vultures. Media is shown like vultures. One poor girl was being disturbed for 1 full year. She was arrested, kept in jail, and then freed. And now nothing. Everyone has forgotten. And for 1 full year, he was troubled. She was troubled. And this news was there for a few months in television during the COVID times. And people were enjoying it. There is another middle-class girl, our family, girl from our families, daughter of an army man, Air Force man, retired Air Force officer, daughter. And she was so much harassed. So this is fake, completely fake. Like Babita Phogat, one of India's well-known lady wrestler, she is writing, "Bahut bahut badhai dosto. हमारा राष्ट्रगान जनगण मन अधिनायक जय है, भारत भाग्य विधाता विश्व का सर्वश्रेष्ठ राष्ट्रगान घोषित हुआ, यूनेस्को ने इसकी घोषणा की." This is stupid because no UNESCO link is given. So verify the source, cross-check with the other sources, check with the UNESCO website. So verification is important. The problem with quotes found on the internet is that they are often not true. Adolf Hitler. Now Adolf Hitler has died some 80 years ago. There was no internet at that time. So skill sets for developing critical thinking. Identify biases of certain news or writers. Evaluate the information objectively. Listen to both sides of the story. And that's true in life also. Huh? Don't judge it because your friend has told about something about someone. Listen to the other person's story also. Set aside your personal biases. We are always biased towards our friends or our community, which is very wrong. Truth may be different. Skill sets for developing critical thinking. Like this Barkhat Rehan writing, she is a journalist. She's writing, "Stay safe, men and boys. Bengali girls are dominating. They know how to make guys fall for them. They catch big fish, good-looking, highly paid guys. If you want to be her servant and financer and are okay to leave your family and join her family, then go ahead." This was done during Riya Chakravarti, Sushant Singh Rajput case. Complete bullshit. So who does this benefit? Does the source of this information appear to have an agenda? Completely agenda-driven, this one. Is the source overlooking, ignoring, or leaving out information that does not support the belief? Is the source using unnecessary language? Yes, exactly. So there are many times too many adjectives used. When news is using too many adjectives, it's wrong. Think of it. Aaj Tak is a famous channel in India, is writing, "Sushant par Riya ka kala jadoo." Nonsense. How can a respected news channel do it? This is how in India, which is supposed to be a large democracy, educated country, channels are doing so. It happened in 2020. Riya Chakravarti case agenda for all was about TRP. No scientific temper. That's another problem. No scientific temper. Because the God is angry, there will be a storm. And a storm happens of climatic reasons. Due to climatic reasons. Nothing to do with God's anger. So, like, economy is going down the drain. So you need stupid news to get advertisement. App ban news. Chinese app banned by the government. The China, what is there banning China? TikTok banned. In India, TikTok is banned because it's Chinese. What's the big deal? You are doing business with Chinese commodities, products, and services. You are buying from them in bulk. That is real business. They're banning TikTok, but people are fooled by that. So app ban news, Riya Chakravarti, Kangana Ranaut case, all these are fodder to to fill up the gap of the economy. The real challenge is the economy. That is the real challenge. So make an educated guess, assess information and draw conclusion, discover potential outcomes when assessing a scenario. So you need to really understand and make an educated guess to understand whether it's false or true. Salman ke liye Katrina ka vrat. Nonsense. Katrina is a Muslim lady, and for vrat and all, no, sorry, she is a Christian lady. She was born Muslim, but later on she is Christian, and she will not do this vrat thing and all that. Now this was again Z News ka jhuta news. Ability to infer correctly can be polished by gathering information. Look into clues, headlines, images, statistics, Somewhere there will be falsehood. Somewhere there will be falsehood to understand critically something. Clickbait. A schoolgirl gave her lunch to a homeless man. What he did next will leave you in tears. So this is basically to draw attention. Clickbait. Be careful with headlines that start with buzzwords. Sort of. Images, reverse image. Now, if there is a wrong image, you can search that image on the Google to understand whether the image is rightly used or not. It's called reverse image search. So there are many such images that happens. So skill determining relevance. Many a time, whether the information given is relevant or not, if it is important or not, is there too much of information given? Then these are all wrong sides. And try to seek news from all perspectives. So you get a news from one news source, try to see the other news source, whether it is told there or not. If it is not told in other news source, then the first one could be false. So during Corona, there was a pandemic from the front. Through the nose and the mouth, the virus came. And there was a pandemic at the back. Through the ears, the so-called fake news came. So therefore, in case of understanding fake news, you need to, for example, too many treatment of Corona was told on the social media. You need to cross-check with what WHO says, with real doctors say, to understand right or wrong. So I'll not get more. There is curiosity you should have. Don't take things on the face value. Ask questions. These are how learn new things. Ask open-ended questions. So these are the things that helps you in critical thinking. So when you face a problem, start thinking, seek solution. Identification, research, identifying biases, inferences, relevance to you or not, and having curiosity. Some of the ways to develop your critical thinking. So I will stop here on this and quickly ask you, how do you interpret critical thinking? Suppose you have to develop critical thinking, what will you do? This time, Sandhya Maharjan. Sandhya Maharjan, you tell what you can do to develop your critical thinking capacity so that you can fight media biases. Sandhya, are you there? Yes.
Yes, sir. Namaste.
Yes. So please tell, how do you think you can develop your critical thinking?
First, seeing whether that the information that is getting passed on is true or not by using my own knowledge and by using by searching in various internet platforms whether it is true or not.
Cross check it with other sources, right? Cross check. Yes. Okay, what a good point. Any other?
And another would be by seeing if the news that has been spread on, like you gave the example of using different kind of words that is not relevant to the thing that they are saying.
What words, what information are given which are not relevant? Very good. So nice. You have been listening, not sleeping. Very good. So we will get into net etiquettes, net etiquettes. How and what you should do, how to avoid wrong things on the internet, and what should you do? We'll come to that. But Manisha Bhattarai, the lady who is standing in the picture there, can you unmute yourself and tell how you develop your own critical thinking capacity? So cross-checking many sources is what Sandhya has already told. Something new, Manisha.
Hello, sir.
Hi.
For developing critical thinking, I think I should be able to identify the problem, what exactly the problem looks like and what exactly in reality it is, and I should be able to thought a clear picture of that problem and why it is happening.
How will you develop the clear picture? Identification of the problem, then developing a clear picture. How?
Like after identifying the problem and that scenario, we can imagine that circumstances and situation, and we can do more research about it. And
yes, research from multiple sources, research from people who have gone through the similar situation, right? So
yes.
From multiple sources. Okay. Then so you got the source research. Then
like verification of the source and not believing only in the content that media provides.
Perfect. Not believing on the face of it. So verifying the source, verifying the content. Some people will have their own biases to understand the bias. So differentiate opinion, information and opinion. Information may be right, opinion may be wrong. I mean, depending on the person. You may have a different opinion, but information may be right. So to understand the difference between news and views or information and opinion, that's also part of critical thinking. Right, Manisha?
Yes, sir.
Great. So you have been listening. Great. Now let's go to Bijita Joshi. Bijita ji, namaste.
Namaste, sir.
Yes. I asked negative impacts of media for women and how to combat. So one negative impact you tell and how would you like to combat it? Bijita Joshi. Yes.
The media is using, they are highlighting the women. There are certain actions done by the women in the leadership post or in the leadership role are questioned by media by many in many way, but not to the men when the same action are done by the men.
Right.
And in that matter, we can question like how.
So many a time media differentiates on the same issue between men and women. Is
On
that
the
what
basis of their gender, yeah.
Yeah, gender-based differentiation. So you should be able to differentiate, or you should be able to understand how they are biased, right?
Yeah.
Right. Think over further. We'll come back again. Let me go to the next. Now, this time I'll tell about social media. What are the right ways of handling social media? What you should not do and what you can do. The other people like Ayusha, Rita, Kshitij, Prasamsa, Deepika will come again just now. So let me go to the next thing. Yeah, just a minute. I'll take a minute. Okay. Let me once again go. Let me go here and netiquettes, media netiquettes. Netiquette means net etiquettes, right? Just go fast. Social media etiquettes, okay? So this is a part of a media literacy course that we did, me and my university and another university together. So many presentations were made there from there. So digital etiquette, netiquette means digital etiquette. The word netiquette is a combination of net, that is internet, and etiquette. It means respecting others' users' views and displaying common courtesy when posting your views to online discussion groups. Rule of the thumb, if you would not do or say something in real life, don't do it online either. So suppose you will not tell a dirty thing to someone in real life, then don't do it on the internet. So people who very easily use abuses are actually disturbed personalities. So don't do or say something in real life which you'll not do, don't do it or say something in online which you'll not do in real life. That's important. No yelling, please. Most situation typing in all caps is inappropriate. When you type in full capital letter means you are shouting, yelling. Most readers tend to perceive it as shouting and will have a hard time taking what you say seriously. So if you're only typing in capital letters, that means people will ignore you. They will think you're pagal hai, chillata hai, like that, shouting. So that's not an intelligent answer. Sarcasm can and will backfire. So in internet, better सामने बैठ के जो हम लोग बोलते हैं, मस्ती करते हैं, sarcasm करते हैं, jest joke करते हैं, that sort of sarcasm is avoidable in the net. Sarcasm has been the source of plenty of misguided arguments online. As it can be included. Yeah, tell.
We cannot see the screen. We cannot see the slides.
You cannot see the slide?
No, sir.
Oh, really? I thought everyone, because I can see the slide. Anyway, I will once again try. Stop share. Let me come to share screen. Can you see now? No.
Yes.
Can you see now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Did you see the earlier slides?
We could not see any slide of netiquette.
Now you can see, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So netiquette means digital etiquette. The word netiquette is a combination of internet and etiquette. Okay. Means respecting other users' views and displaying common courtesy when posting your views to online discussion. The rule of thumb, if you would not do or say something in real life, don't do it on online either. So what you are in real life, be true to that online. No yelling, please. No capital letters. Capital letters means you are shouting. People don't take you seriously if you are yelling, if you are in capital letters. That's another point that you should take care. Sarcasm, please mute your systems. There are some people who is not muted. Mute your system. When I ask you to comment, please unmute and comment. Okay. There is some people who are still not mute, and therefore there is disturbance. Yeah. Yeah. So sarcasm can and will backfire. So do not use sarcasm on online as much as possible, which are like male jokes, anti-woman jokes, or mocking at someone should not be done online. Don't abuse the chat box. Treat it like the learning tool it's meant to be. Try not to distract others with off-topic discussions. Don't digress from what is being discussed. Set a respectful tone. If you would not say it on face-to-face, don't say it online. Don't write anything that sounds angry or sarcastic, even as a joke. Because without hearing your tone, people will think that you are actually not joking, but telling it seriously. But when you tell face-to-face, a joke is understood better. Online, the joke is not understood. Don't badmouth others or call them stupid. You may disagree with their ideas, but don't mock. So if you disagree with the idea, I beg to differ and then tell your point of view. Oh, you are a stupid guy. Not a good way of telling, because when you tell someone face-to-face, very close friend, oh, you are stupid, is fine because you are good friends. But when you tell online, 1,000 others are also reading it or watching it. So therefore, review what you wrote and try to interpret it objectively. When we speak face-to-face, we are misunderstood. We have on-the-spot opportunity to rephrase or say sorry. But in writing, we must read twice before we post. Strive twice as hard to be understood, as we do not have the benefit of modifying or elaborating in real time. Mind you, whatever you put online remains there. So therefore, you must be careful before posting what you are posting. Don't spam. Everyone has the habit of in the morning to send too many forwards. Please don't take advantage of your connection to forward emails and links regarding your political or spiritual beliefs or to sell your services. Many people are not interested. It is best to draw their attention and interest by simply dropping a casual or normal post without any intention. So do not spam. Spam means when you force your sales ideas or your political or your spiritual ideas repeatedly to people. That's bad net etiquette. Use emoticons. Emoticons. Casual chat room setting emoticons can help convey feelings that may otherwise get lost in translation, including humor, exasperation, exhaustion, confusion, smile, smiley. All those emoticons are good. Respect others' privacy. Don't give out another person's personal email address and details without permission. So when you are giving to others, please ask or let the other person know that someone is seeking his email IDs, email or other details. Remember, if it is not on the internet, if it is on the internet, it is everywhere. Don't share your own personal information about yourself online, especially something that could put your safety or security to risk. So you can send on WhatsApp, something is fine. But I would say, many a time, and because you are young people, many a time boys and girls who are in relationships send to each other semi-nude or nude photographs. Don't do that. You may think I'm sending to only one person. It may be wrongly shared on Google Doc, or it can be shared on, there is a Google photo share or photo storage. It can go there. Then you never know. Today that person is a friend, tomorrow not, and then tomorrow he or she takes those photos out and blackmail you. So please be, however close you are to someone, do not send personal photographs at all. Please be careful about that. Don't share personal information. You may say, oh, this is normal. Well, it's not normal. There are many people who are falling victim to it. I know in India, at least, there are some, there is a group of criminals, cyber criminals, who will, there will be a girl in that, and that girl will sweet talk with a powerful man who has got money or name. And then there will be some private photographs, and then they will start blackmailing. Give me this much money, or I will release your photograph in the internet, or send it to your wife or your family, things like that. So very careful about these things, going ahead. No personal photography at all. Forgive and forget. If you're offended by something or someone online, keep in mind that you may have misunderstood their intentions. Give them the benefit of doubt. So carrying grouse online is not a good idea. That's the point. Only friend or follow people you know. Just because thousands of men are chasing you, don't have to follow or friend them. Only if you know them well, then it's fine. Share no personal information in public platform. Think before you post, think twice. Read first, write later. That means read what you are going to think about or write about, or post later. Before posting, you must review, and then send. Language of the internet, it should not be abusive. Consider the privacy of others. No inappropriate material. Don't click on ads or pop-ups as much as possible. The more you click on ads and pop-ups, it might lead to several problems. People ask about some OTP they will ask, and then your money can go out. So any OTP online, unless you are sure of what you are doing, which organization and all, don't get into that. Recognizing that the internet is the extension of society. Applying the same standards online as we do in public. Whatever you don't do in public, don't do it in online also. Just because it is in the mobile, don't do it. Refuse to empower abuse, bullying, or harassment while online. So if someone is abusing you, bullying you, don't reply also. Because the more you reply, it continues further. Acknowledging cultural differences. There are cultural differences, and we must always understand, particularly among people of different countries. So when one point on abuse, if you are being abused, bullied, or harassed, initially do not reply. But if it continues, then it has to be taken to the logical thing, that is cyber bullying, cyber police, and all that. That comes later. For business, for companies, being a good netizen, applying online ethics and using netiquette include respecting the rights of privacy for offline employees. So your employees, their own social media is their personal life. Maintaining transparency in information policies, online reputation management. There is a whole subject or science of online reputation management required for businesses. 5 C's for authenticity. You must explain the context in which you are writing. You must share credible information. Your language construction should be good. You must collaborate with others or give citation or proof or evidences of what you are writing. And you may give comparative situation of what you are writing with past. So, or with similar situation in other societies and all. So these context, credibility, construction, collaboration, and comparison, these are important points of writing strongly, credibly. Your digital stamp is your social presence, your profile, and your reputation. So today, how you build your reputation, a part of people know you through social media, rightly or wrongly, because you cannot meet people daily basis, or some of the people you'll never meet around the world also. So therefore, your social presence, your profile and reputation online is your digital stamp, and you need to be careful, and you need to continuously add value to that. Big data is okay. The 3 V's, the volume, there is a huge amount of data being generated. Volume, the velocity or speed, and variety of content. These are there all over. And I'm not getting into cyber laws. There are many laws. I'm not getting into that. This is cyber crimes. What are considered to be cyber crime? Identity theft. So someone behaves that she is or he is, that other person, maybe he or she, whatever. Someone tries to create a fake identity or fake account in the name of Prakriti and tells people things. That is identity theft. And if Prakriti can report it, one to Facebook, suppose if it is on Facebook or Instagram, wherever, and also take it to the cyber police, there will be action. And you can identify from where it is being done. Easily, the cyber police knows the technique through information technology use. The source computer can be identified. So identity theft is a cyber crime. Cyber terrorism, when you spread terror about burning, bombarding, whatever, that through the internet, cyber terrorism, cyber bullying, and as one of you were telling, Rai was telling that many a time, many girls are bullied on the cyber media. They'll write that this girl is this, something wrong with your face on it. Do not get disturbed. I know some girls in India have committed suicide because of cyberbullying. So others need to come together and make a strong case in front of the cyber police. And also write to that guy that you will be taken to task by police because this is a crime. The guy who is doing that may not even know this is crime. They may think crime happens when someone is hit physically. No, even cyberbullying is a crime. Hacking your own social media identity and writing wrong things, that's also a cyber crime. Defamation online, copyright, breaking your copyright and taking, trade secrets, and violation of freedom of speech, harassment or stalking, stalking. So these are officially considered as cyber crimes. And hence, there has to be a complete training of even girls on what is cybercrime. Many girls think they are helpless when they are bad-mouthed or they are, a nude body and the face is of that girl. It is not her body, but people do that, morphing. It is called morphing. The face is put and the body is different. So this is a cybercrime. This morphing, this is actually defamation and cyberbullying. This is completely crime. So people do not many a time understand that. मैं तो अपना मोबाइल में किया, क्या big deal है? No, it's a very big deal. It is as good as, it is as bad as murdering that person. So therefore, there has to be a good training of the women that you are addressing in future about cyber crimes. How to prevent cyber crime? Avoid unsolicited text message. You all get text message from unknown number. Don't get it. So you either automated voice or text message, don't reply. Or if you think that the person is credible, try to verify before replying. Maybe call from a landline or some other number and check the person first, who the person is. Then if you think that's right, then only go ahead. Downloads on the mobile phone. Download everything on the mobile phone from a trustworthy source. Without knowing the source, don't download. Don't download everything. Rating and feedback. Don't always give rating and feedback where you don't want to. Because many a time after you give rating and feedback, the website starts chasing you badly because they need business from you. Personal information request. Don't like CVV of your card. Those things you have to really avoid. Completely avoid personal or pictures or whatever, personal information, phone numbers. So intellectual property. What is intellectual property? Logo, design, symbol, tagline, books, slogans, product names, literature. These are usually protected by intellectual property. There are many cyber laws to protect this intellectual property. So copyright, patent. So for example, United for Impact, it should be registered. The once it is registered, your trademark or service mark can come. So these are actually the laws that preserve your cyber, your intellectual property. You must protect. Otherwise, tomorrow someone will, when your idea is famous, someone else will take it. Privacy law in India, I'm not getting into that. Data privacy is okay. So this gives you broad idea of what you should do in the internet and what you should not. So now let me ask Rita. Rita, what have you understood about cyber crime and how to handle cyber crime? What you should not do on the internet, ideally. So Rita, over to you.
Okay. Yeah. So cyber crime is something that can happen to anyone, anytime and anywhere, irrespective of their maybe class, gender, or anything else. So something we should not do in our social media is that as social media plays a vital role these days, we should set boundaries in social media. We
Very good.
must be mindful of the things that we are posting in our own account, or we must also think that what it may impact on others people, and we should respect each other's religions, cultures, their background, even in the social media as well. And we should also
Very good. Yeah, a lot of points you have told. Boundaries, keeping your boundaries, respecting other cultural beliefs, not mocking at others' religion, culture, or belief system. You can debate if necessary, but not mocking. No personal information, very personal information not to be shared. If you have to share with a friend, you can directly tell rather than through the internet. So good. A lot of points you brought in. Appreciate. This presentation will be given anyway. So you can look into the cyber crimes and intellectual property, how to protect it, how to avoid cyber crimes, all these things you can see and further do research on that. Great. Ayusha Srestha. Ayusha, you just tell, if you want, you can come on video as well. You can tell what have you learned in the last presentation on internet etiquettes. Ayusha, are you there?
Yes.
Yes, tell. What have you learned about internet etiquettes? Netiquettes. There's a new word we are exploring, netiquettes. Yes.
Yeah. Internet netiquette means I understand that internet etiquette we should give the good education about this at first. So am I audible?
Yes, good. Continue.
Yeah, so netiquette is actually means the words net that describes that about rules of conduct, how to conduct, for respect about the communication.
Right.
So there are something rules about the online etiquette. We learned just about at last slide, like we should be careful about the sarcasm.
Very nice. Good. Good. You have picked up many points. Very good. Thank you. And the presentation will anyway come. You can once again see and pick up the other points also. Very good. Prasamsa Adhikari, we told about negative impact of media on women and how to combat. Give your opinion on that. Prasamsa Adhikari.
Hello, sir.
Hi.
So,
but I can't see you, but anyway, hi.
Yes. I'd like to say that the social media will represent our unrealistic lifestyle, and women get attracted to their unrealistic lifestyle, and we tend to copy it. Right. And we get frequently bullied and frequently body shamed of our body. So we should ignore the trolls. We should avoid the messages from unknown sources.
Right.
And
if you reply to trolls, they will get on your head more. And if you're not replying, still they are creating troubles, then you have to tell you are committing a cyber crime. And it will be important to note, it's important for you to note that you can be jailed for that. And what is cybercrime? Explain that. This is cybercrime, what you are doing. And so explain that. The note will be shared with you, the PowerPoint. So educate yourself so that you can fight this out. Yes, continue, Prasamsa.
Yeah, we can ignore the trolls and negative comments, what we get on our post. And we should, of course, think before posting how it will impact on others, about posting the same thing that we will do in our real life. That's all. Thank you, sir.
Good. Perfect. Good. At least you have started thinking, and some of the ideas we discussed you are picking up. The last presentation is on, what's this guy coming? Clayton Bolton. What a name. See, this is a false idea, I suppose. I don't think the name is exactly that.
No,
So
no,
that,
he is my colleague from Community Engagement Exchange Program. It's
oh,
a
but,
part of,
oh, okay, foreigner. Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Hi,
Oh, I'm
Clayton.
sorry.
Thank you for
I'm
being
sorry
here.
for that. I thought Nepali guy having a name, pseudonym. Okay, okay, good, good. Then welcome, welcome. So please mute. There is a background sound. Okay, now we go to the last, what do you call area? Last area, which is media and privacy. The last presentation quickly will go there. Just a minute. Media and privacy. Okay, just a minute. So navigating information online, right to privacy. Okay. So the key to information online. What is privacy? Concept of privacy lies in the ability of an individual or particular group.
The screen share is still the slides. It's not the presentation.
Oh, you're not seeing?
No. I think it's a different screen.
What the screen is? What is privacy?
No, it shows the list of PDF files, not the presentation.
Okay,
Yeah.
let me go there. Let me come to this. Now, can you see?
Yes.
Now, can you see? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, fine. What is privacy? The concept of privacy lies in the ability of an individual or a particular group to seclude some information about themselves and hence present themselves selectively in front of others. That means you don't have to tell everything about yourself. You don't have to show everything about yourself. Only a wrong public, what do you call it? Wrong self-image makes people do it. You don't have to bring everything. It's up to you to select a few things what you want to tell. Some can only do academic things, some can do personal skills also, some can write travelogue and everything, but don't have to tell about small details in your private life. Further, the idea behind privacy is to let an individual decide what information regarding himself or herself she wants to make public. Privacy is not a verb for hiding something. It is a noun that is defined as a state of being alone and not watched or disturbed by other people. Everyone, I know everyone wants to be famous and be known to people, but then the famous people know how painful it is always to be watched and disturbed by other people, and particularly celebrities know it. So Article 21 in Indian Constitution is about right to life and right to personal liberty. I'm sure similar article is there in the Nepali Constitution also, right to life and right to personal liberty. That talks about privacy as well. Right to life, right to live with dignity, human dignity, right against sexual harassment at workplace, right to reputation, right to medical care, right to privacy, and right against illegal detention. These will come under Article 21 or right to privacy. So not getting into the legal part of it too much, I will get into the information technology. This was a new act in India protecting. I'll go straight into the privacy and social media. These are the popular social media. Okay, this is Facebook. Everyone knows. What is this? Second one, what is this?
Instagram.
What is this? This is WhatsApp. Everyone knows. What is this? The last one?
Snapchat.
Huh?
LinkedIn.
The last one, IN.
LinkedIn.
LinkedIn. And this one?
Twitter.
Twitter. And this one?
Snapchat.
Snapchat, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you are already there in all the 6? Most probably. So I'm not in all the 6. I'm not on Snapchat. But anyway, what is social media? As we all know, social media is digitally created platform for communication. Many social networking platforms, we know this. These platforms are although not very old, but have crossed all records of their popularity in few years. The main reason why these sites are introduced was to enable people to form new friends and stay connected to them through virtual world. But social media is not a happy place at all. So there is a joke. When you go to Facebook, it seems everyone's life is very beautiful, colorful, happening. When you go to Facebook, when you get to Instagram, everyone looks nice, the houses looks the best, and the life looks very sexy. When you go to Snapchat, I'm not sure because I have not gone to Snapchat. When you go to Twitter, you are always fighting, debating, quarreling. When you go to WhatsApp, always forwarding and all that. And all the frustrated guys are on Tinder. Then all those who are on LinkedIn, they give an impression they're the best professionals in the world. So, social media usually, not always, usually do not give the right picture of the person. Because the person is a mix of many things, not one type only. But each social media platform creates a specific image, as we know. These platforms are, although not very old, but crossed all, as we know, and connected in the virtual. So social media is not always a happy place. Facebook, Instagram, we know. I'm not getting into LinkedIn, Twitter, we know. WhatsApp, Snapchat, we know. WhatsApp is telephony, encrypted telephony also, and social media in a way, not directly, but in a way. So privacy and social media. Social media started gaining pace among the users. It became a perfect platform for marketers also to market their products. So the social media sites started exporting information about their users to third parties. Now, for example, my Gmail account keeps getting so many marketing messages. So many, can't help it. And today, other social media, Gmail is still email, but even Facebook and Instagram is coming out with so many marketing messages. Right when we make an account on any of these sites, they start collecting our personal information. Because the more personal information of the users they have, more data they can provide to the advertisers. So social media basically sell your data to the advertisers. If you're writing about food a lot, you will get a lot of posts, promotional posts on food. If you're writing about a particular place you have visited, you'll get more on that. So this is always basically a data sold to advertiser. Privacy concern, account hacking and impersonation. I think many of you have also experienced, I have also experienced account hacking. So there was a false account in my name in Facebook. So when we reported it and when we said that I'm taking screenshot and informing the cyber police, they immediately deleted it. So there was one Snapchat account, not Snapchat, sorry, I'm not on Snapchat, Insta account false, which started asking money from my friends. Same thing, my friends reported to me, reported to Instagram, I reported to Instagram, and to that particular site on the message I told, taking the screenshot, that now that it's proven, many people have already informed me that you are doing this, I'm going to collect screenshots from friends and inform the cyber police. They immediately deleted. So they're cowards. People who do this mischief are usually cowards. Some, one or two may be very bad. So account hacking and impersonation is one of the challenges. Stalking and harassment, every girl must have faced it largely, stalking and harassment. So you can block people straight, block them, delete all their communication, whatever they have done, and then don't accept friendship from people you are not sure. Then on very personal posts or posts which may be considered personal, only keep it to your limited friends viewing, not public viewing. You know that there is an option in social media. A particular post is for public viewing or close friends viewing. Make it for close friends. Then stalking and harassment will reduce. Privacy downside of location-based services. Now, many a time location has to be given, where are you? Now, that's a problem also. Location leads to, some of the privacy issues as well. So only selectively give your location information. Crossing the thin line between effective marketing and privacy intrusion. Many marketing, in the name of marketing, they actually intrude your privacy. How to safeguard your privacy? Reduce the amount of personal information you upload and let your personal information stay personal. Change your profiles on these platforms from public to private. That's always good. Then photograph blocking, so that your photograph cannot be taken. You can guard the photograph, as you know, in Insta, in Facebook, you can guard the photograph. Don't add random people that you don't know in your profiles. Remove location tracking from your profiles. When uploading photos, do not tag a lot of people. Tag only those who are relevant and those whom you know. When setting passwords, use strong passwords. That easy to crack some combination of your name or your nickname and your good name. Don't do that. Use hashtag, use number 123, use things like that. So I will have two relatives' names at the rate of 1 or at the rate of 5. People cannot guess that. And I will keep changing it once in a while. So still there are ways of hacking. Very expert guys can do that. But as much as possible, set a strong password. Strong password means an uncommon word, a symbol like @ hashtag, or something like that, a question mark, some symbol, and a numerical 1 to 10. But it's tough to remember that password. Maybe somewhere you note it somewhere, but you can even record it on your WhatsApp or on your mobile. But then you need to, and never share your password with best friend or relatives also. Wherever possible, enable two-factor authentication. So anyone wanting to enter will have to first crack your password, and then if they enter and try to change the password, they cannot do that, because there will be an authentication from your mobile. So that's called two-factor authentication, password and the mobile. So it is better to have that. That's another point. When social media platforms are introduced, developers had little idea of how their applications could be used for purposes which are not socially applicable. But then there are pros and cons of every invention. So basically respecting the privacy. If you are doing all this yourself, also respect the similar things of the others. That's the problem. Never do things that you won't like happening to you. Something that you don't want yourself, don't do the same thing for others. So brief note on media and privacy. I'm doing it hurriedly. One, there is a shortage of time. Second, too much of content has been discussed. But then this content I'm sharing with Prakriti, and she can share with you all. So Maryada, what do you think, Maryada Nyopane? What do you think about how to protect your privacy on the media, on the social media? Maryada.
So not sharing my password.
Yes.
And having a two password authenticity, I guess.
Authentication. Two-factor authentication. Password and mobile.
Two-factor.
Yeah. Yeah. Anything else?
And not tagging a lot of people.
Right.
And proofreading twice or thrice before posting in the social media platform.
Right. No personal attacks yourself. And when people attack you personally, do not keep replying, then it goes worsens. Just ignore for some time. If it continues, just tell, you just block the person. And in the messenger, you warn, if you keep doing it, I'll have to, if you block it, then he cannot do it. Or in the messenger, if you tell that stop it, or else I have to report to cybercrime, under cybercrime. But better to block first. That will let the problem be sorted out. And to make your accounts private and not public. No need to be very famous quickly. There's no need to be that. Unless, okay, if you're an influencer and if you want to make a name in one area, then focus on the content that you want to share. Don't make it personal. Influencers don't go very personal. You focus on the content that you want to share. So that's about it, Maryada. Thank you. Profs, Ayusha has also spoken, right? Who has not spoken? Santosh Kafle. Yes, Santosh. How define what do you consider as a negative impact of media, and how would you like to combat it? Santosh. Are you there, Santosh? Okay. Millie, would you like to speak one negative impact of media for women, and how would you like to combat it? Millie Koirala? Yeah.
As many things have already been discussed. So the negative impact that now I believe that it's very rampant is the concept of the so-called the concept, as you already said, the beauty standards that has been spreading in the media so rampantly, and it has been affecting many girls on the internet today. So what can we do is break the stigma that that is not the standards of beauty, that is not the standards of beauty, and from accepting the flaws in us. So that we can do to combat the negative impact.
Very nice. So we discussed about media and its media literacy. There are different forms of literacy that we talked about. Then we discussed critical thinking. How do you really do critical thinking? Then we discussed about net etiquettes, internet etiquettes or netiquettes. Finally, a little bit on media and privacy. In the process, at the beginning, we also discussed how body images, body shaming, wrong values on self-esteem, pregnancy, molestation, these are created. And many a time media and the society will tell if there is a molestation or something wrong, as if the girl is at the receiving end, or the girl is at wrong. The mistake is with the girl. There has to be a combined effort of women around that woman, around that lady, to prove, or sisterhood to prove, or to put it that the women are not at fault if there is a crisis on them. It's often the other way around. They are victims of it. They are not the perpetrator. The perpetrator has to be taken to task. So therefore, oppose stereotypes, particularly sexist jokes, male chauvinistic sexist jokes, oppose it, and oppose being judgmental. You also don't be judgmental, because that's the easiest way. We look at the face of people and start judging the person. Oh, he's like that, she's like that. Do not get into, avoiding being judgmental yourself, and discourage others to be judgmental as well. And then respect your privacy. Similarly, respects others' privacy. Do not leak information about others in the social media which they would not like it, just because you know about it. And most importantly, do not share very private moments, private pictures with the best friends also. Passwords and access with the best friends also. Do not do that. Some of the things that you need to take care. I will share these 4 presentations with Prakriti ma'am to be shared with you all. And before I go, I know it's already 7 minutes more than 2 hours. But before I go, I'll just take one feedback from 1 or 2 of you as to how was the session, what did you learn, one single learning at least. Kshitiz Shrestha, one quick feedback from you.
Hello.
And you can show your handsome face.
So,
It would be good.
okay.
There are many girls here. You can show your handsome. Ah, good. Tell.
So, since it was about the peer pressure and media literacy, it was really fruitful to know that there are various kinds of people in the media who are dangerous to the people, normal people as well, and how the media shapes the personality. We come to know about that also, and how do we respond to it is the way how we will create ourselves own personality as well, and as well as it has helped us to know that there can be the abuse of the personal space through the social media as well, and we should know how to counter it.
Very nice. So the concept of personal space is not only physical, it is virtual also. It is applicable in social media also. Very well said. Thank you, Kshitiz. I hope we can build further. We are learning together. We can build further on this. Deepika Lamichhane, your feedback, please.
I found the session very enlightening.
Yes.
Especially when media occupies most of our lives nowadays with a small thing that you call mobile. It's very essential that we learn about media etiquette and good and bad parts of it. So we need to take maximum good parts from it, while knowing that, yes, there are some cons to it. And if we do that, I think it will be better for everyone.
Very good. Thank you. There is this, Google has started training around the world on how to identify false or fake information, or the so-called fake news. How to identify even just with your eyes, and then using some technology also, reverse in video, reverse imaging, all those. So I have done that course also. It's very important, very significant. Sometimes if I'm physically there in Nepal, we can organize on how to identify and bust false and fake news and information. So, and that will also include false images about women in public media. So we can do that, and we can do exercises. I will show you in images and tell, what do you think, it is true or false? Then you have to apply your mind to really come to that conclusion. So we can do that sometimes in future. Back to the leader, Madam Prakriti Dhakal.
Thank you very much. I was thinking that when you're going to ask the questions to me, but I have learned so much so far, more than, I expected that we can get from online presentation. So thank you, Ujjwal, for agreeing to be mentor to all of us and for doing this amazing session on all the needed topics. I hope that we're going to utilize this when we are at different community schools during our community immersion. So as an appreciation or a little token of love, we have prepared something for you. I will send you as well. So this is a token of love from, wait a second, Hamro Baini, respectfully presented to you, Professor Ujjwal Anu Chowdhury. We sincerely appreciate your dedication and expertise as a trainer session on training media and prayer presser. Your guidance and insights have been invaluable to our sexual and reproductive health and rights champions. And we're grateful for the knowledge and the skills you have imparted to us. And we'll be expecting your presence, in-person presence someday in near future. And then all of these champions will be working with us constantly. This is the last week of the virtual training. So we're already like a family and then planning to get into community as a part of our community immersion process. So we'll keep you posted, and not just the updates of Hamrabani, but the updates of entire organization. Thank you for guiding and mentoring us. And let's just turn on the video if possible.
Yes, everyone, come on video.
And let's take a picture.
Yes, that's nice. Smiling, well lit. Lights on kar do. Vijita, thoda chehra ko upar uthao. है ना कामना या इसका Clayton, I didn't know you, so
yeah, I would like to, Clayton is one of the community engagement exchange fellow. Hi Clayton, do you want to say hi to everyone here?
Yes. Santosh is still absent. Rita, come on. Prasamsa, come on. Yeah, Millie aa gayi. Millie